Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good day to everyone. My name is Muhammad Izzat bin Hamim. We are from Group 2 and Session 13 UNGS 2290. Today I will be talking about a very important and urgent topic, crisis in the Muslim world and the example. Let us begin with the decline of Islamic civilization. Historically, during the Islamic Golden Age, Muslim scholars were at the forefront of knowledge and discovery. They made great contribution to science, mathematics, philosophy, medicine, and law. Intellectual openness and creativity were highly encouraged. However, over time, there was a stagnation in intellectual thoughts. Ijtihads or independent reasoning became rare. Instead of using Islamic knowledge to solve social problems, many leaders focused only on preserving their own authority. They neglected important areas like social science, economics, and governance. A clear example of this is seen in the Ottoman Empire. The Ottoman Sultan became more concerned with holding onto power rather than reforming the empire to meet modern challenges. Next, we move to the neglect of social sciences. In early Islamic history, scholars were deeply engaged with both religious and worldly matters. Scholars became focused on religious texts, the Quran and Hadith, and gave very little attention to real life such issues such as political, social organizations, and economic. This was a major problem because Islam provides guidance to all aspects of life, not just ritual and worship. After the political crisis following the murders of Caliph Osman, scholars were pushed out of political leadership role. Muslims lost the ability to create practical solutions based on Islam for new social and political challenges. As a result, many Islamic societies became more passive, dependent, and fell behind in a world that was rapidly changing. Lastly, let's look at the identity crisis. Osman Bakar, a well-known Muslim scholar, explained that the identity crisis we see in the Muslim Ummah today has its roots in colonial era. During the modern time, Western ideas such as positivism, which emphasize only what can be seen and measured, and evolutionism, the belief that life developed purely by chance, were introduced into Muslim educational system. These ideas were not properly explained or connected to Islamic teachings. Instead, they were adopted without integrating them into Islamic worldview. This created a clash between the Islamic way of thinking and the new Western influence ideas. Muslims started to feel confused and unsure about their belief and disconnected from their rich heritage. For example, in many Muslim countries, modern secular university replaced traditional madrasas. This university focused mostly on Western disciplines without integrating Islamic knowledge. That's all for me.
My name is Muhammad Izzuddin. So, I will continue to the next point, which is rise of extremist group. So, extremist group like ISIS, if you know ISIS, it is Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. It have grown quickly in the Muslim world. How? Actually, they took advantage of the weak government and chaos, especially in Iraq and Syria. So basically, ISIS used the anger between Sunni and Shia Muslim to create more division and recruit more followers. And then many people who felt left out by their government also joined the ISIS group. They also use social media to help them spread their idea. For example, they use videos and posting to attract young people from all around the world, not just in the Middle East. And then because of ISIS and this similar group, many people now wrongly think that Islam is related to violence. It is not actually. This has damaged the image of Islam globally because their action caused many innocent people to suffer and millions were forced to leave their home. So this point I derived from Failed Revolution using Twitter to study the antecedents of ISIS support. So for the next point is youth unemployment and brain drain. So youth unemployment is a serious problem in many Muslim countries. because even young people with good education cannot find a stable job. For example, in a place like Tunisia, Egypt, and Algeria, the number of jobless young people is very high because the education system often does not prepare them for the job that are available. And then also the economy is very weak and cannot create enough new jobs. So because of this, many talented young people move to other countries for better opportunity. This called as a brain drain. When smart skilled people leave, it makes it even harder for their home countries to grow and develop. So this point I derive from the unemployment crisis in the Arab world 2018. So I think that's it from my part. I will move to the next presenter.
I'm Akif bin Abidin. Metric number 2317637 will be presenting about how the crisis is regarded as a threat to Muslims. So for the first point, weakening of Islamic identity. The crisis results in a deep confusion among Muslims about their role, values and worldview. Exposure to secular ideologies without proper Islamic grounding weakens the Muslim Ummah's collective identity and causes many to feel lost and disconnected from their faith. For the second point, intellectual stagnation. The neglect of critical thinking and ijtihad has led to Muslims becoming dependent on external ideologies instead of solving issues through Islamic perspectives. This intellectual decline prevents innovation and progress, making the Muslim world vulnerable to external influence. For the third point, political instability and rise of extremism. Failure to establish just Islamic governance allows extremist groups to exploit political voids. Groups like ISIS misuse Islamic concepts for violence, leading to global misconceptions about Islam and fueling Islamophobia. Last but not least, economic decline and brain drain. High youth unemployment and lack of opportunities push many educated Muslims to migrate abroad. This brain drain weakens Muslim nations, slows development, and deepens socio-economic crisis, trapping countries in cycles of poverty and instability.
My name is Saim Haris bin Zamizi, metric number 2326231, and today me and my friend Fatah will be presenting about the solution to the crisis in Muslim mind. So like previously learned, we know there are a lot of issues regarding the crisis in Muslim mind, such as the identity loss of the Muslims and also the intellectual stagnation. Now we will look on how to solve this problem through an Islamic approach and a more forward-thinking one. So let's move on. So moving on to the first solution, which is under the point dividing ijtihad and critical thinking. So what is ijtihad? Ijtihad means using independent reasoning still based on Islamic principles. So as we see, that today's world have various new challenges such as AI, artificial intelligence, climate change, politics, and socio-economics. We still respect past scholars, but some of their rulings are not suitable today already. So as an example, woman working. In the past, it is considered a taboo to the social norms, but today it is accepted as long as it is Sharia compliant. Ijtihad will lead to progress and innovation. This is proven by how the Islamic Golden Age happened, where the Abbasid caliphs encouraged the people and scholars to free thinking. Moving on to the second solution under the point integrating religion and worldly science in education. One of the core issues in the Muslim world today is the separation between Islamic knowledge and modern science. How to fix this is by reforming our education system by combining both disciplines in the schools and universities. How to combine? Some examples include how the Quran precedes science findings and also how to use technology ethically from Islamic lens. We need to reduce our dependency on the secular model that many came from the colonizers like the British because it is not suitable for our identity and values. For the third solution, we will focus on strengthening the Islamic identity through media and education. Today, many Muslims are more interested with the Western media. It doesn't align with Islamic values and also, in fact, are against them. Because of that, we need more Islamic content, such as films, dramas, etc., that reflects our own values. Besides that, we also need to revive our own cultural heritage. Example of that is preserving the calligraphy, the art, the Jawi, and also Malay architecture. It makes us proud with our own values without depending to other cultures. Lastly, we also can look at digital platforms. It can play a big role. Apps, websites, and even games can be tools for Tabia while still be entertaining. If done correctly, it can help us engage with the youth and also reconnect them with Islam in a modern way.
Moving on to the fourth solution, which is promoting spiritual purification, which means tazkiyatun nafs. First one, core Islamic values. Tazkiyah, self-purification is central to Islam and is mentioned repeatedly in the Quran and Sunnah. Secondly, address root cause. Many of the crises in the Muslim world, like corruption, selfishness, disunity, are due to the spiritual disease such as arrogance, greed, and envy. And by promoting tazkiyah, you tackle the inner problems before the external ones. Thirdly, practical and universal. It applies to every Muslim individually, regardless of their status, and can easily be promoted through simple action like dhikr, salah, and fasting. Let us move to the last solution, which is reconnecting with the seerah, life of the Prophet Muhammad SAW. Why do we need to put the Prophet Muhammad SAW as a living example in our daily life? Because the Prophet Muhammad SAW provides a real practical model on how to act during crisis, such as politically, socially, and spiritually. Secondly, connecting with the seerah helps us build Muslim identity. Studying the seerah not only strengthens love for the Prophet Muhammad SAW, but also boosts confidence in Islamic value and counteract the identity crisis that Muslims face today. Last but not least, flexible application. Lessons from the seerah are adaptable to different fields, such as education, leadership, youth activism, family life, and so on. Thank you for watching.